Hello everyone! First of all, I would like to thank everyone who participated with me last week and who shared with me his amazing photos of the Play-Doh. Now, as you see, today we are going to draw a very beautiful and simple robot. So basically we are going to use shapes and lines to create our robot, and we have two types of shapes. The first one is geometric shapes like a star, a triangle, a square, and the other type of shapes is the organic shapes like the shape of the feather or the shape of the fruit or the shape of the tree leaf, and we will focus on the geometric shapes today. So as we always say, we're going to use the whole size of our paper and we will make it balance. That means, remember, if you draw a very big head, you will not have a space to draw the rest of the body. And when you draw a very small head, it will look very funny for the big body. So I start with my head using a square shape, and now I'm adding some small details and some swirl lines to make it look like a girl. I add some lines in the face and a rounded dot so it will look like it's joint pieces of iron. Kind of triangle shape for the body. More lines and shapes. Of course, remember we need to draw 2 lines for the hand and 2 lines for the legs, because we are not drawing a stick man here. Now I'm going to give my girl robot a skirt using zigzag line. And some more lines for the legs. Oval for the feet. And I will complete it with a curved line all inside. Now using pencil or grey colored pencil if you have, we're going to color very lightly around the lines. So we're going to do a shadow, and the shadow can be without pressing at all and only around the lines, so we will give it the look like it's a little bit 3D. Now using my colored markers, I'm going to draw some different lines around the robot. And if you don't have the colored markers, you can use a colored pencil or crayons or oil pastels. And here I'm going to draw another example for you to see that we can create a million ideas of robots using only the geometric simple shapes. And I'm kind of giving him a big funny smile. And a long body for this one. See, only rectangles for the legs. As we said, it's all simple shapes. All of you have done it before, so please don't say I can't try. We don't want to hear the word of I can't. Always you can. And this is the final result for our robot that we color it using only pencil and some other colors that you have at home. In the coming video, you will see another technique for coloring the robot using watercolor paste markers and using brush and water. Please share with me your work, and if you have any ideas for the coming e-learning art activities, you can also share it with me and I can make for you the videos. Have a great day all of you, and can't wait to see you.
To begin, we're going to be using a lot of shapes. Remember those geometric and organic shapes we talked about? Well, our focus will mostly be geometric shapes. So this is how we're going to start by drawing our robot's head. I'm going to show you some ideas that you could draw for your robot's head. Maybe a circle would be a great shape. Perhaps a square would be the perfect geometric shape. I'm just trying to get your wheels turning so you can think about your robot. Maybe a half circle. This is like my favorite shape to use when I'm drawing robots. Or a really tall rectangle. I know that you're going to think of a bunch of other geometric shapes for you to use for your robot. These are the ones that I've come up with. Now, when you get ready to draw them on your piece of paper, you need to think about something called composition. Composition is where an artist places something. Imagine if I'm about to draw the head of my robot and I decide I want to draw a square. If I made the square really very small, it would be difficult for me to draw my robot's face. If I made the square really big, then I would mostly have a work of art that's filled with my robot's head and not much else like his body. What I like to do sometimes is draw with my finger, a little bit of what I call ghost drawing. This gives me an idea on the composition, on the size, and the placement. All right, so I think I have a good idea. I'm just going for it with my marker. I'm drawing with my marker on its side so it makes a nice, thick line, and there we go. That was easy. All right, now let's talk about the parts on the robot's head. Again, I'm going to be using geometric shapes. I think I'll in fact erase this circle so I can draw on this other one a little bit better. Let's see. Maybe I'll use a couple of tall rectangles on top of the robot's head. I'm just kind of coming up with some ideas. Maybe there's a little squiggle that connects one of those rectangles to the other. He's got some wires sticking out. Perhaps there's a curve with another curve inside. Those are his robot ear sensors. Oh, that looks pretty good. And of course, I love to draw different patterns and lines and designs. There we go. Maybe on this one, there's a little box on the side and perhaps another little rectangle that comes up. He's not going to be as symmetrical. I'm going to put a couple of buttons there. And yeah, so think about what different kind of shapes you can add to each one of these to give your robot some variety, to make your robot a little bit different. Okay, so I've got a couple of ideas. I think I'm ready to draw on this one. I really like this idea of it not being symmetrical. So maybe I'll put one there and then something here that's totally different. Maybe a little gadget over here for his ear sensors. Maybe another one there. Yeah, oh, I think I'll draw some designs, borrowing an idea from that one. Cool, okay, now I'm ready for the face. Wow, so many options. Again, I'm gonna draw my dry erase board. Maybe he's a cyclops. Who has had it? He is a robot that is, I am over it. Look at my face, I am not amused. Whereas this guy, he's just gonna have these really long, shiny rectangles of eyes. You can't really see how this robot is feeling. He's kind of an emotionless robot. This one, this is gonna be like, I think, my Mr. Cool robot. There we go, I'm gonna make his sunglasses a little shiny. So think about what kind of personality you can give your robot. That's what's going to make each one of them really unique. All right, so on this one, I'm gonna give this one some glasses because I wear glasses. So I'm gonna draw a little couple of circles there, and maybe, so I drew 2 circles. Maybe I'll add a little semicircle in there. Color, baby, color. And then if these are glasses, I'm going to connect. Mine, I'm thinking it might be Professor Robot, who's at your service and is going to be doing all of your homework for you. Wouldn't that be amazing? All right, now the mouth. This guy, I already know, he's going to be pretty happy. So I'm going to go ahead and draw 2 curved lines. Maybe I can draw some lines inside like that. But what could you do? Maybe it's got a rectangle for a mouth. This is gonna be a baby bot. So he's got one little tooth in his mouth. There we go. How about this guy? He's Mr. Cool. There we go. Look at that. Suddenly they have a personality. And this robot, meh, over it. All right, tough guy. There we go. Now comes time for the body. So when it comes to the body, before you do that, I'm going to draw 2 little lines for the neck. Ooh, I almost forgot my favorite way to show emotion. There we go, eyebrows. All right, so next up comes the body. Do I want my robot to have a really long torso? Because if he does, then the legs will end up being really short. And if I give him a really short torso, then he's going to end up with these really long legs. Both of those ideas are great. I just have to decide which one I want for my robot. Again, I'm thinking about variety. What can make my robot really unique and different? I think I'll go with a horizontal line, one of my elements of art. I'm going to bring my lines down diagonally, bringing it inward diagonally, and then maybe I will connect like this. Let's say I'm going to focus on this one to give you a couple of other ideas for what you could do for your robot. Maybe your robot doesn't have a short neck. Maybe your robot has a really long neck. It's possible, and if it's going to need to bend, you might want to add some lines right there. And then perhaps it's got, I don't know, a big semicircle kind of a body. Why not? The cool thing about making these robots is the sillier, the better. Now, on the inside of the torso, you can start to add the details of your robot. I love to always draw a little heart inside my robot. There we go. And then you can add dials and switches and buttons and on and off and a keyboard and a little slot to show the heart monitor. It's up to you. The more unique things you add, the better. All right, this one's shaping up pretty good. Next up, I'm going to work on the arms. It could have 2 arms, or it could have a bunch of arms. I'm gonna stick with 2 for this one. I'm gonna draw a curved line that goes up and another curved line that goes up. Ooh, these arms are long. The cool thing is if you're drawing along with me, here or here, and if I ever go too fast or you miss something, if I'm going too fast, you can just hit the pause button. And if you miss something, well, of course, you can just rewind me a little bit and I'll repeat myself. All right, I love to draw little pinchers. I make a backwards letter C, doot, doot, and connect. He looks like he's scratching his head. Maybe he's getting an idea. All right, and my other one, I think I'll do it the same, but going in the opposite direction. Another one coming down. There we go. Boop, boop. I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of like to add some side effects or sound effects when I'm doing this. So if it helps you, go for it. All right, this guy, he's gonna have lots of arms. He's one of those robots that can do so many things at once. It's almost like he's got crazy octopus arms. They're gonna even be the kind that are retractable. You know what I love to do is I love to write stories. There's a great book called The Wild Robot that's all about a robot. But you could write your own story. Why not come up with a name for your robot, a job for your robot, and what kind of predicament could your robot get him or herself into? Maybe they end up eating your homework and you have to take your robot to school to explain it to your teacher. Or perhaps you build your own robot out of different parts And sometimes it behaves, and then sometimes it doesn't. The cool thing about writing a story is the choice is yours. Okay, next up, I think I will add some legs. I'm gonna give him a leg that comes down, another one that comes down, and I wanna have something that makes him really silly, so I'm gonna give him these great, big, stinky robot feet. Do you think a robot's feet stink? I don't know. I don't know. And he's gonna be like doing a little dance. What do you say? He's got one foot that comes up, he's tapping it. He's playing some music while he's doing my homework. That's what he's doing. I don't know if that's a good idea, robot. I don't want you to get any of my math problems wrong. I want to show what he's made out of. So I'm going to add a couple of lines to show the bolts. Maybe he's constructed that way. I could add those on my face, but for now, I think I'll just keep those on the feet. This guy, I think I'm going to make him be on wheels. So I'm going to draw a letter U, and then another letter U, and then I'll draw lines. Remember we talked about texture? These are the texture of the wheels, right? Now, granted, if you touched it, it doesn't have a texture. That's why this is called implied texture. I'm giving you the idea that it looks as though it would have a texture. Better draw some more on here. There we go. Okay, now that that's all finished, I'm gonna show you my favorite trick. Remember how I said you're going to need a little bit of water and a paintbrush? Because I used water-based markers. Water-based markers means this trick will work. If you use something that isn't a water-based marker, meaning you use a permanent marker, this trick might not work. To get this trick to work, you just put a little water on your brush, paint over your marker to, I'm gonna call it wake up the marker. What it does is it makes your marker turn into a kind of paint. I'm gonna go ahead and do it like this to make the neck look like a cylinder. Go around all these parts. Later on when this dries, I could even add more color with markers and then just have that color be flat. So maybe I'll color inside of those two things, coloring my heart maybe a little bit red. If I want this to look three-dimensional, I'm just gonna paint a little bit right there at the top and then paint a little bit right here at the bottom. All right, I'm gonna speed up this video so that you can watch me paint a little faster. To make your robot look a little bit three-dimensional, all you have to do is add water. Isn't that amazing? Now, like I said, this only works if you have water-soluble markers. What that means is they're not permanent. The water is waking up the marker and turning it into paint. What I like to do is paint right on top of the marker lines to kind of wake up the marker and then drag that marker paint towards the middle. Sometimes I like to only do it around the edges of things like the arms so that it creates the illusion of the form known as a cylinder. But you can do it anywhere you like. When I'm finished,